The meaning of life is purpose. And yesterday we learned about programming your mind for success. Programming your mind for success, which was delivered by Mr. Siame, and it was really amazing. We had a wonderful experience. We learned about how the mind works and how we can really program our minds for success. And for me personally, it really helped me because after we had a session, I had some time to really meditate on that and to really think through certain things and how I'm going to really apply that into my life. And it was really amazing. So this night, it's going to be wonderful. And we are just going to do a quick one, though it is a bit of deep, but it's a quick one, and then we have some bit of interaction. I trust everyone is ready. All right, so today we are going to be talking about becoming extraordinary. Becoming extraordinary, that's what we are going to look at tonight, and I believe it will really help you, and I believe you have some notepads so that you can take the notes. Maybe sometimes the notes won't be in what is in the presentation, but the notes that you take is what I may say in trying to explain maybe the point that is in the presentation, so that make sure that you have a notepad or even whatever, just make sure you take down notes because it will really be helpful for you. So we are dealing with becoming extraordinary. Becoming extraordinary, and we really want to understand why should we bother to become extraordinary, or why is it important for us to become extraordinary? What is this all about? So the concept I'm trying to share with us is the meaning of life. The meaning of life. For example, this is the first point that I want us to look at now. So life is about work, and the meaning of work is to become. So in other words, life is all about becoming. Every day and in everything we do, we are becoming something. You know, Jim Rohn once said, be careful of what you are becoming in pursuit of what you want. So life in general is all about becoming. Every day, whatever we are doing, we are becoming. And this is the thing that we need to realize. Every time we are becoming something. Now, we want to be intentional in our becoming because life is about work, and the meaning of work is becoming. When we look into the Bible, we find that God told Adam to work the garden. He told him to work. He gave Adam work. It has some connotation of becoming, to become. When he said be fruitful, you know, when he said be fruitful, in other words, there is something that he wants him to become, to be. It's a state of being. So he said, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth and subdue, then have dominion. So God blessed them. He created man in his own image and after his likeness, and then he blessed man and he said, be fruitful. Be fruitful. And the focus should be on the being. He said, be fruitful. So it's become fruitful, in other words. And it is very important for each one of us to realize, because every day you are becoming something. Whether you are intentional about it or not, you are becoming something every day in your life. Even as you have been growing up, you have been becoming something. Now we just want to be intentional in our becoming, because you need to be careful of what you are becoming in pursuit of what you want. This point, I love it so much because there is something it reveals. Here is one thing I would want us maybe to think about when it comes to goal setting, why goals are important. So goals are very important, but because we want to accomplish something in life, we want to attain something in life. But the main importance of goals is not necessarily the goal itself, but what it will cause you to become in pursuit of that goal. So for example, if you set a goal to raise maybe about maybe 100,000 100,000 kwacha. For you to set that goal, for you to be able to attain that goal, it requires you to do something. It really requires you to do something. And as you do that, you are becoming, in the process of trying to accomplish that goal, you are becoming. So there are people like we've seen story, maybe we've heard of stories of someone because of what they wanted, because the goal which they had, they became something which they never wanted to be, only in pursuit of their goals, because they were not careful. So every time, your goals are very important. The kind of goals that you set in life are very important, because in the process of attaining those goals, you are becoming. So if you set a goal, you may not even attain that goal, but in the process of that goal, of trying to accomplish that goal, you find that you become better. You become better in the process of attaining that goal. So that's the most important. That's what I want to focus on, and I want us to really think about and really investigate. Even after the session, at your own time, just investigate and really think about it. God said, be fruitful. When he created man, be fruitful. He wants them to become something. And the other thing about becoming is commanding them to be fruitful, because there is a capacity, because he has given them the capacity. Whatever is demanding them to become, the capacity is already in them. He has already given them the capacity to become whatever is demanding them to become. And that is very, very, very important. It's very important. He says, be fruitful. So life is about becoming. If you can realize this, it will transform you, because you realize that every day I'm becoming something, and we want to be intentional in our becoming, and we want to become extraordinary. In other words, we want to become above the ordinary. We don't want to live life in an ordinary way. We want to live an extraordinary life. And what that extraordinary life is all about, it is the purpose-driven life, because an extraordinary life is the purpose-driven life. It's a life that is lived according to your purpose, in accordance to God's purpose for your life. That is what we are looking into. So human beings, we were created to work, which is to become. There is a potential in man which needs to be unleashed, and that potential is unlimited. So another thing we need to realize is that we were created to work. We were created to become something, to be something. The first and foremost is to be the image of God, which is the God's representatives on earth. That is our primary purpose here on earth, to represent God. Now, in the process of representing God, then we have to be fruitful. We have to become fruitful. And the potential is already within us. We have unlimited potential within us. We already possess unlimited potential. And this is amazing. This is amazing. Here is an insight that we can think about. So, for example, if you look into the mirror, if you are looking into the mirror, and then you wave into the mirror, the image in the mirror will be doing the same you are doing. If you blink, your image in a mirror will also blink. If you smile, the image in the mirror will smile. That is how we are designed. We are designed to be the image of God, which means whatever God is doing and whatever God can do, that is our potential. That is our potential, because we are working in his nature. We are representing him, and each one of us, there is an area, there is a potential which God has placed in each one of us, which when we actualize, when we produce according to that potential, that is what God is talking about when he says be fruitful. Because in each one of us, there is a portion of God's character which he has invested in each one of us, that we are supposed to become. That is what life is all about. We are becoming every day. We are becoming every day. So be careful of what you are becoming in pursuit of what you want. Like I said, the importance of goals, one of the most important thing about goals is not the attainment of goals, the goals themselves, but what we are becoming in attaining those goals, in trying to attain or accomplish those goals. What we are becoming is the most important thing. So we want to be intentional. Let us be intentional in setting goals that will help us, that will make us become extraordinary. That will make us become extraordinary. Let us progress. So becoming extraordinary, it is very important to identify the work you were created to do. And the discovery of that work is what we call purpose. If you have ever played a game, a game, putting together a puzzle. So when you are putting together a puzzle, one of the most required thing in putting together the pieces of the puzzle is the picture, the complete picture of how it will look like. Then the puzzle becomes very easy if you have a picture of how it will look like. So as you are putting the pieces together, you are trying to see how the pieces are coming together according to the picture of how it's supposed to look like. So in the same way, we are not just trying to put pieces together anyhow, we are trying to put pieces together according to a certain picture which we have been given. That's how that game of putting together a puzzle is played. Those are the rules. In the same way of our lives, we are not just trying to become anyhow. We want to identify what we are supposed to become. And identifying the work that we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to become, that is the discovery of purpose. That is a discovery of purpose. So in other words, your purpose in life, God's purpose for your life, that is what you are supposed to become. And when you identify what you are supposed to become, God's purpose for your life, it helps you to have direction in your becoming. It helps you to be intentional in the process of your becoming. Why? Because you have a picture of how it's supposed to look like. You have a picture of how it's supposed to look like. So the discovery of purpose gives the direction of your work. Your purpose is what you are supposed to become. Your purpose is what you are supposed to become. Here is an amazing thought, like I shared on the first day. I said this: you need to understand that God is the God of purpose. Whatever he did, he was so intentional. Whatever he does is for a purpose. He creates things for a purpose. You know, he created the moon and the stars and the sun, the moon and the stars to govern the night, the sun to govern the day. That is their purpose. So these are not just decoration, they are there for a specific purpose. If God was so intentional about giving purpose to all these things, these other creation, how much more you, his image? So you as his image, there is a purpose for your life. There is a purpose. God had a purpose for your life. You are not an accident, you are not a mistake. It doesn't matter the circumstances of your birth. You are a divine initiative and you are a divine plan. And as we have learned about purpose, one of the things that we need to understand is that purpose precedes production. The purpose comes first, is produced. So a purpose of a thing is established, then a thing is created which has to fulfill that purpose. In the same way, your creation was necessitated by your purpose. Your creation was necessitated by a specific purpose. So you are not an accident. You are not an accident. Even though right now you may not be aware, you may not have discovered your purpose yet, it doesn't mean you have one. He said ignorance of purpose does not cancel purpose. You need to understand, God created purpose. He needs you. Other people may reject you. People need you, but you need to understand God needs you. That's the reason why he created you. And you are here to fulfill a specific purpose. Identifying that purpose is very important for our lives, for us to have direction in life when we understand that purpose. Because without purpose, activities have meaning. Whatever we are doing have no meaning if we don't know, if we don't have a purpose for doing those things. You just there's no meaning. So this is why we want to identify the work which we are supposed to do, what is supposed to come, that is our purpose. The discovery of that means we have discovered the purpose. Let's progress. So I want to look at to take the case study or the example of Jeremiah, and I want us to just investigate this one and really see what we can get from it. When we look at Jeremiah, like the scripture itself in Jeremiah chapter 1, starting from verse 4, 5, going down, it says, the Bible says, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah and said, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you came forth, I sanctified you, I consecrated you, and I appointed you a prophet unto the nations of the world. So before, for Jeremiah, he was ordained to be a prophet before he was born. He was ordained to be a prophet before he was born. He was born before he was born. When he was born, he already had the potential to be a prophet even when he was just a child. That is profound. That is profound, because you need to understand, Jeremiah didn't become a prophet when he responded to God. He was ordained to be a prophet before he was even formed in his mother's womb. And before he came forth, you know, before Jeremiah was formed in his mother's womb, God knew him. The word knew, it means he planned for him. It was God's idea, it was God's plan, it was God's initiative. Before he came forth, he was ordained a prophet. So there was a plan for him before he was even formed in his mother's womb. The same way is applied to us. Before we were formed in our mother's wombs, God knew about us. He planned for us. We were his idea. We were his initiative. It doesn't matter the circumstances of your birth. It doesn't matter. Your parents may not have planned for you, but you were planned, God planned for you. And that is very important for us to know. We need to realize that our parents are more like a way God used to bring us into the earth. Now that we are here on earth, there is a purpose to be accomplished. There is a purpose to be accomplished. So before he was formed, God knew him, he planned for him. Before he came forth, before he was born, he already had the potential to be a prophet, even when he was a child. And when the time came for him to unleash the potential, God called him. This is amazing. So when the time came now for Jeremiah to unleash that potential, that to become what God created him to be, then he called him. And this is the time now the word comes to him. And when God called him, Jeremiah said to say, Lord, I am still a child. And God responded to him by saying, do not say to me you are a child. Do not say to me you are a child. So when God called Jeremiah, he called him to respond to the ability which he had placed in him. I want you to follow this one. Before God called Jeremiah, when God called Jeremiah, he was calling him to respond with the ability which God had already placed within him. So there was an ability which God had already placed within him. No wonder when he said to him, I am still a child, he said, don't say to me you are a child. This is because God knew the ability he had placed in him. God knew the ability. So even when Jeremiah is feeling to be inadequate or unqualified to what God is calling him to do, God knew that the ability is already within him because God placed it there. So like Jeremiah was ordained to be a prophet. You may not have been ordained to be a prophet, but one thing I want you to understand is that there is something you have been ordained to. There is something God has ordained you to do. You may have been ordained to be a political leader, a business leader, a scientist, a doctor, whichever field, in every field, wherever God wants you to be, that's what you need to pursue. There is something he has ordained you to, and he placed the ability within him. And what I love is this. When Jeremiah is saying, I am still a child, and he's contemplating what God is telling him, he said, there is something God said to him. He said, he comes to him and he said, Jeremiah, what do you see? Jeremiah, what do you see? And Jeremiah just responded, he looked, and what he saw, he just responded, I see an almond tree. And God said, you have seen well. Wow, this is profound for me because God is asking Jeremiah, what do you see? Jeremiah didn't start, okay, let me pray, let me fast, let me try to do something, try to imagine all things. He just looked and he saw. And what he saw, he told God, I just see an almond tree. And God said, you have seen well. In other words, God is confirming, yes, exactly, this is what I placed in you. And he said, you have seen well because I am watching my word to perform it. I am watching my word to perform it. I am watching my word to perform it. This is very important. You have seen well. Jeremiah did not need to struggle because the ability to see, he was ordained a prophet. The ability to see was already for that. All right, so like I was saying, Jeremiah didn't have to struggle. It was already, the ability was already within him. So God said, what do you see? He just looked and saw an almond tree. And God confirms it by saying, you have seen well. Why? Because the ability was already within him. Here is a misconception sometimes we have, sometimes the struggles that we have whenever we are discovering something. Often we are overwhelmed by our purpose. It may be maybe a dream, a conviction that you have. You are trying to start something. Maybe you are trying to start a business. You are trying to start a business and you are overwhelmed by that. And the problem with that is that we tend, it hinders us from taking action because we are overwhelmed by it. But one thing I want us I would love us to understand is that you need to know that the dreams, the conviction, the ideas that you have, they are possibilities seeking expression. The ideas you have right now, they are possibilities seeking expression because you can do it. It's possible. The ability is already within you. But sometimes we feel like we can't do it and it limits us. But if we can realize that if this dream has come to me, this idea has come to me, that means I have the ability to bring it to life, to bring it into, to convert it into reality, then that will change our attitude towards everything. So you may have been trying to do business. Maybe there is a program you want to study, whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe you want to write a book, to make a course, whatever it is that you want to do. When you look at it in that way and you feel overwhelmed, you need to realize your dreams and ideas, they are possibility seeking expression. I have a practical example. One of the books that I've written, It's Time to Dream Big. It's an ebook. You know, before that ebook, before I wrote that ebook, it didn't exist. It was just an idea. It was just my idea. But I worked on it. I believed in that idea and I wrote the book. And right now the book is there. Some people have even bought the copies and they have read. And it has materialized from being an idea to being a book that people even buy. That is the proof of concept. That is a proof of concepts. For example, another example is this program, this class that we are having right now. This was just an idea that we had. We sat together, let's make a program like this. And from that idea, this class has been working, and tonight we are concluding. Why? Because here is what I want us to understand. Because this world came to us as an idea, and we have converted it into a reality. Today we are having this. Tonight we are having this class. That is profound. It sounds so simple, but it's very profound, and many people don't get it. Many people don't understand. It took me a lot of time to really understand, and I just understood it this year. In fact, this last month, that's when I understood this. We have proof of concept. So if I can have an idea about a book and I write it, and it becomes a reality, I can apply even this idea to big things. I can start a business that will employ a lot of people. I can start a business or a church that will grow all over the world, that will be all over the world. Those ideas, if it can work to small things, that is a proof of the concept. It can even work to big things. It can even work to big things. So God comes to Jeremiah and tells him, what do you see? Say, you have seen well. Now, here is a profound. God is saying, he gives Jeremiah, he touched Jeremiah and said, I've given you my word. And he said, you shall go wherever I send you, and you shall speak whatever I tell you to say. And then he said, do not be afraid of their faces. I'm going to conclude with this one. He said, do not be afraid of their faces. That word, do not be afraid of their faces, it has a connotation of reputation. You know, sometimes when we are stepping into any field, maybe a sector, in any field that we want to step in, we are intimidated by the people who are there already, who have their reputation. Sometimes we are intimidated even by the people we are supposed to reach out to because of their reputation, how they are known. God is telling Jeremiah, you shall say to them whatever I have sent you to say. In the same way, that idea that you have, put it out there. Be bold to put your ideas out there. No wonder I say it's time to dream big. Dare to dream. Dare to dream and begin to work on those dreams, those ideas, and put them out there. It's because when you step out in putting those ideas right there, it's only then will they have a chance to become a reality. Otherwise, if you don't step out, it will never happen. So Jeremiah was a prophet before he was formed, but he could have refused and stayed there, and he wouldn't have become a prophet. In the same way, in each one of us, there is a purpose, there is a potential, there is a seed of greatness in each one of us, which we can become. But not until we are intentional about accomplishing that, we will never achieve it. So we need to become intentional in trying to accomplish that. And then everything changes. Everything changes. Everything changes. So work, which is becoming, will always require effort, energy, and the use of the mind. I love it because yesterday night we learned about the mind, how the mind works, and how we can reprogram it. So becoming extraordinary, one thing you need to realize is that it will require effort on your part. It's not something that will happen automatically. In other words, you have to be intentional about it. It will require energy, and it will take time. It will take time. It will require the use of your mind, and it will take time. For example, just having converting this class, personal success, that we have been having for this past 2 days, tonight making it 3 nights. It was an idea, but look in it just becoming a reality. There was a need for creating some links, for creating the PowerPoints like this. It took time for all these things to come together for it to become a success. So in the same way, those ideas that you have, you need to realize that they will require effort. But one thing you need to understand is that you have the capacity and ability to do it. It's not something you need to pray for to come from heaven. You have the capacity within you. It will require effort. Maybe you just need to acquire certain knowledge, certain information you need. It will require you thinking, because you already have that already. So you just have to use those things. No wonder we are saying it's a continuous process. It's becoming. So every day, every time we are becoming something. We are becoming something, but we just want to be intentional and become extraordinary. And to become extraordinary is to lead a purpose-driven life. Is to lead a purpose-driven life. Like I said, the importance, one of the most important thing about setting goals, it's not in attaining the goals themselves. It's what will become in the process of trying to attain those goals. That is the most important things. So whenever you are trying to set your goals, whenever you are trying to look at what you want to become, ask yourself, what am I going to become in the process of trying to accomplish this? Or in other words, what do I need to become for me to attain this goal? I heard Brian Tracy says, success is predictable. Success is predictable. Just do what successful people do, then you become you will become successful. But for you to be able to do what successful people do, you need to become what successful people are for you to be able to do. So becoming is the first part, because once you become something, then you'll be able to do the things that that something is able to do, that will cause you to have the things that you want to have. We have to become, and we have to be intentional about our lives. So this is what life is all about. Every day we are becoming something. Let us be intentional in our becoming. By choosing the information we are acquiring, by choosing the people we hang around with, by choosing the goals that we set, the things that we involve ourselves in. If we can do that, I'm telling you, we are going to be extraordinary. Otherwise, there is no limitation except the limitations that we place on ourselves. And remember, dreams, desires, goals are possibilities seeking expression. They are possibilities seeking expression. This is what is possible, telling you that we want to become. Your dreams, your ideas, they are telling you we want to become, we want to manifest. Do something about it. This is what we are trying to bring to you. And we believe this is a movement. This is not just going to end here. We are trying to mobilize people to be part of this. We are going to be people who are going to be purpose-driven, who are so intentional about becoming extraordinary, so that we may impact others out there. Otherwise, friends, this is what I had for us. So any comments, questions? What is your takeaway? What has stood most to you? Now is the time.
Okay, I don't know, am I audible that side?
Yes, sir. Can
Okay.
hear you.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking this time to just, share with us this vital information about becoming extraordinary. It has really been a very powerful presentation, a very powerful meeting. And I was just busy writing notes, and, I've really gotten quite a number of things from this presentation. Yeah. Okay. So what I can say, just to add on to what you've said, is we need to be intentional in everything that we do. We really need to be intentional. And becoming is the most important aspect of living, because every day, like you said, we are becoming. We are either becoming something good or we are becoming something bad. We are becoming something powerful or we are becoming something weak. That's why humans are called human beings, meaning that there is a continuous process of development, of becoming something. All right. A human being is not a human became or a human will be. He is a human being, meaning that we are in the process of becoming. The most important question that you can ask yourself is, what are you becoming? And do you really like the kind of a person you have become, or the person you are in the process of becoming? And let me just also add on to say, you cannot have anything without first being something. So being is the mother of having, because doing is as a result of being. What you do is as a result of what you've become, and what you've become is what is going to give you what you want in life. So thank you so much for this powerful presentation. Thank you so much for this knowledge that you have really brought to us. I myself am so much enlightened, and I'm so much ready to become something extraordinary, something better than I am today.
Amazing. Anyone else? You can simply unmute your mic. Yes, Mr. Chinyama.
Thank you so much, and apology accepted for the network outage that happened earlier.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a question.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Since we learned that it's important for one to discover the purpose, because once we discover that purpose, then we can have the direction of how our work should be. So now my question is, how can one discover the purpose of life?
Amazing. Mr. Siame, over to you on that one.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, discovering your purpose is very important. It's a vital necessity. Like, if you don't know what your purpose is, everything that you're doing will be an experiment, and you're not going to live a fulfilled life. So how does one discover a purpose? Discovering a purpose is something that is very easy. I don't think it should become very complicated. I remember the first meeting that we had, Mr. Nevers shared that you can discover your purpose by asking the manufacturer, because the purpose of everything is in the mind of the manufacturer. The purpose of a phone is in the mind of the manufacturer who created the phone. We may assume that we know what the phone is for, but only the manufacturer has a better understanding of how and why he created the phone and every functionality that he has put in the phone. This is why we can have a phone right now and underutilize it, because we don't know every application and what those applications are there for until we read the manual. So God has a purpose for every individual. Every person that has ever been born into this world has or had a purpose. However, many never discovered their purpose because they never interacted with the manufacturer or with their creator. So to discover your purpose, ask the creator. But then God has also put clues, or what I can call signals, all right, or what I can call things that you can know, things that you can point to as clues to discovering what your purpose is. Number one, your talent, what you love doing the most. What is it that you enjoy doing? All right. So those things are going to help you to understand what your purpose is. All right. So if, let's say, I love communication, I love speaking, I love talking to people, whenever I'm given an opportunity, I'll just want to communicate something. It could be an idea. It could be a thought. It could be anything. All right. It could be something that I heard from somewhere. All right. That ability, just wanting to communicate, all right, is a clue that my purpose is maybe to do with communication. So if I begin to find, maybe if I find, I research more, all right, or if I'm well guided, all right, I'll then look for a mentor that can help you harness that ability so that I can use it effectively to a level where it can begin to touch many people. Another example is, let's say you have a passion for art. And what I mean by art, it could be drawing, designing things, and all those things. It is just something that you love doing naturally. It comes naturally to you. You don't struggle doing it. You don't feel pain doing it. You don't regret doing it. It's something that gives you joy. And you can do it even when there's no one to push you into doing it. You can do it when there's no one that is cheering you on. You can do it when there's no one paying you to do it. You can do it even when there's no one who is watching you do it. All right. It's something that you just love doing it. That is also a clue that could be related to your purpose. So purpose, you can discover purpose by looking at your strengths also. What are your strengths? All right. And when I talk about strengths, I'm not talking about in the area of attitude. Some people can say, no, I've got a weakness in my attitude. So I think attitude is not my gift. No, attitude must be developed at all times. But when I talk about strengths and weaknesses, let's say you are good at maths. All right. That's your strength. Mathematics is your strength. So no matter what you do, you find yourself gravitating towards calculation. That should give you a clue to say your purpose has something to do with calculation. So you don't have any business to go and study courses that requires maybe memorizing. Let's say courses that requires you to maybe memorize something like, let's say, nursing, or you go for medicine and all those things. Why? Because those are not that is not what is that you are wired for. All right. So you'd rather do courses that maybe involve calculations, like, let's say, engineering, all right, or maybe mathematics, or anything that requires you to calculate. All right. So your strengths will help you to also know what your purpose is. But then God is the ultimate source, all right, where we can get the answers that we have. But he has not left us without clues. He has given us those abilities which you call talents. All right. So talents can also help you to know what your purpose really is. And once you understand, once you develop those talents, now just having a talent doesn't mean that you have your purpose figured out. Purpose is like knowing a reason. Now, the question that you have to ask is, how can I use this talent to help out, or to how can my talent benefit the world? All right. How can I use my talent to improve the lives of other people? So the moment you begin to think of other people, all right, and how you can save that talent that you have, that gift that you have to save other people, that is now purpose. So purpose is all about saving other people, where you see yourself adding value to other people with your gift, with your talent, and with your skill, and of course with your strengths. I think that's I believe I have helped out in one way or the other.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much, Mr. Siame.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the amazing thing is that in my channel, there is an ebook that I've written, Purpose Discovery. So it's just there in the channel. Just look for it. It will really help you. But if you would want more, there is a course. I've done a course on that one also. It's on Udemy. The link also is in the group, and I can share also the link if you'd be interested in that. But there is a book I've written. It's an ebook. It's free. You don't have to pay. I've already shared it on in the group N Academy. But just to add on one or two things from what Mr. Siame has said, there are indicators of purpose. So indicators of purpose, like he said, what you love doing, what are the gifts and talents and strengths that you have. Those gifts and talents and strengths you have, they are tools which God gave you to fulfill the reason why you are here. Because purpose determines the design of something. Design is determined by purpose. So the material which is used also determined by the purpose of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't use a phone to try and put a nail in a wall. The phone is not meant for that purpose. So these abilities, your conviction, what you are passionate about, they are indicators of purpose. They are pointing you to your purpose. So
exactly.
it's amazing thing. And one of the things that can guide you is just the primary purpose for every one of us, which is God made us in his image and after his likeness, which is we are here, every one of us, to represent God.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the primary purpose for everyone. And under that umbrella now, we find our unique way. Where are you representing God? In business, in this, whichever God is calling you, you are representing God in those fields. And like Peter said, we are the chosen generation, God's own special people, called forth to demonstrate the perfections of God.
Yeah.
So God is seen in us, the way we handle situations, the way we bring out ideas and solutions, the way we do things. God is seen in us. So we are here to demonstrate how perfect God is, the excellencies of God. And it's an amazing thing. So I think that's just an addition on that one, but look out for a book. I think I'll make a comment on it so that you can see it. Yes, Chisha, you can go ahead if for a comment or a question.
Okay. I just had two questions, like for everybody. Now,
Okay.
just that you and Sir Moses, you kind of touched the questions already. So I even you're okay, but let me just say them out. So my question number one is, when I was taking the notes on the first points you were raising, especially
Okay.
concerning purpose and the goals. Yes. So I wrote down this question which says that what daily habits can you cultivate to promote personal growth and continuous learning? What daily habits can you cultivate to personal or to promote personal growth and continuous learning?
Okay.
That question goes to direct to Sir Moses. Yes, to Sir Moses, yeah, that's your question. And
Okay.
for Apostle Nevas, your question is, how can you challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone regularly?
All
Like
right.
things that you can be doing to challenge yourself on a regular basis in order to improve on your life.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Siame, you are starting or I start?
You can start and then I'll come in later.
All right. So what can you do to challenge yourself to step out from your comfort zone?
Yes.
In fact, it's amazing because just the other day I received a question. Someone asked me, how do you overcome procrastination? So one of the things that you need to do is establish your strong reasons for doing something. Establishing the strong reasons, your why, strong reasons. The reason why sometimes we are so much in our comfort zone, it's because we don't have strong reasons to get out of our comfort zone. So you find that whenever people are pressured, whenever they have challenges, then they'll step out and they'll try to move about and find solutions to whatever is pressuring them. But whenever things are okay, we tend to withdraw and be in our comfort zone. So you need to establish your strong reasons. In fact, if it's possible, write them somewhere where you can remind yourself or just recite them every day. It will help you because not until you know your strong reasons. For example, I read books. I read books not because I have to I'm writing an exam somewhere. No. I'm reading books because I'm a communicator. I've been given an ability to communicate, to help people know the truth about the meaning of life, why we are here on earth, and inspire them for extraordinary living, to help them discover their God's purposes for their lives. That is why what I focus on. So because of that, I have to acquire information in that area. So because that strong reason I have to do this, it causes me to read, to research, to learn more, to engage in to attend meetings like this. It's because of those strong reasons. I think for me, this really helps. And that's how you even overcome procrastination. You find that, to those of you who are in schools, you find that before exam comes, you are procrastinating, you are just comfortable. When the exam is near, look at how people become busy. It's because you realize and you know that exam is very important. And because that reason, now the exam is here, there is pressure, then you step out. I think that's the best way you can overcome, because these other techniques, they'll just work once in a while, but this, I think, is sustainable. To remind yourself the reason why you should step out of your comfort zone. So find the reasons why you should step out of your comfort zone and remind yourself why you shouldn't be there, why you shouldn't be in your comfort zone. That will help you. It will really, really help you. I think that's how I can answer that question. If I have answered your question.
Nice. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Okay, and coming to my question, what are the habits that you can develop for daily personal growth? Okay, now, when it comes to a habit, I think habits are very, very powerful. One man said, we don't choose our future, we choose our habits, which then determines our future. Meaning that the future that you want to live, all right, it's in your habits that you develop daily. And a habit is just a repeated behavior, all right? So if you do something over and over and over and over for an extended period of time, it will become a habit. And one man said that bad habits are easy to develop and very difficult to live by. But good habits are very difficult to develop, but very easy to live by. So you'll find that mostly we human beings gravitate towards bad habits because they are easy. You don't have to struggle to develop a bad habit. It will just come to you naturally. All right. But when it comes to developing a good habit, it will take a lot of time and also discipline on your part. Now, if you want to develop every day, one of the habits that you need to develop, I think it should be on top of the list. And as funny as it may sound, you just have to do it. All right. Is to make your bed every morning when you wake up. Okay. I know it sounds so funny, but it's a habit that will influence other good habits. All right. If you can wake up in the morning and you cannot make up your bed, you cannot sweep your bedroom, then even if you start building these other habits, all right, they will not be sustained because there's one habit that you've not developed well. So start by making your bed. Every time when you wake up, make your bed, whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it, or whether nobody is going to enter your room. Make sure your bed is neat and clean. That's the first habit. I know it's funny, but it's very important. Now, let's go to the second habit. Read every day. All right, so you have to develop a habit of reading. Like Sanevas was saying, you don't have to read because there's an exam. All right, life itself is an exam. All right, because you cannot cheat life. All right, what you put into life is what you are going to get out. Okay, it is a law of cause and effect. Okay, so what you put in is what you reap, is what you get out. Okay, so read every day. Read in the area of your passion. Discover what your passion is. Discover what your purpose is. Then read every day. At least read 1 to 3 pages of a book that is going to inspire you to become a better person. Read every day. Whether you feel like it, whether you are sick, whether you're not sick, but read every day. And it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. You know, bad habits, a habit cannot be just uprooted automatically. It has to be replaced by another habit. So you have to develop a habit of reading every day. Number 3, you have to write every day. Okay, you might be saying, I'm not a writer, but it is important to be journaling. I don't know how many journals I have in my house. Like, I've been writing and writing and writing to a point that I developed my skill of writing to a point where I started writing books. I never knew I could write a book until I started journaling. I started writing down ideas. All right, so every person will receive about more than 1,000 ideas on a daily basis. But many of us are not aware of those ideas because we are not conscious and we don't record or write down those ideas. And one of that idea could make you a billionaire, could change your life drastically. So develop a habit of writing. Write. Be moving with a diary. If you don't have a diary, buy one. All right, we are getting into 2024. Buy one. Record everything that you receive in your mind. Even when you're reading, write down those points that stands out to you. Write them down. Then another habit is the habit to communicate. Communicate is not speaking. All right, communicating is not speaking. So develop the art of communicating. Learn how to communicate effectively. Learn how to, because it is through communication that your ideas are going to be given expression, even to maybe an individual that could potentially help you achieve those ideas. So be a communicator. All right, communicate. Find every opportunity that you have to communicate your ideas, to communicate your thoughts. All right, because that's the only way you're going to give them expression. And then now you have to think every day. Now, when I talk about thinking, I know many of us assume we think. One man said that there are people who think, those who think they think, and those who would rather die than think. You see, so I don't know what kind of a person you are. If you're a person who thinks, or who thinks you think, or who would rather die than think. All right, but many people are on the second level where they think they think. So you have to be a thinker. All right, develop the aspect, that habit of thinking. Think every day. And you can ask to say, how do I think every day? Think with intention. Sit down and focus on an idea that you want to give expression. Develop. That can be a habit. You'll be amazed at the quality of thoughts that will be coming out of you. So these habits, I've just mentioned about 5, but there are many. But if you can work on these habits, I'm telling you, your life in 2 months is going to be way different. Even the quality of your life that is going to be coming out, I mean, the quality of ideas that you'll be expressing, the quality of life that you'll be living, it will be so amazing. So amazing. I don't know if I've helped you in that area. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you so very much, sir. Really
You're,
appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Any questions, people? Any questions before we wrap up? Tomorrow is Sunday. We have to prepare for church.
I believe there is no
Nobody.
question. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Mr. Siame, you can just conclude for us.
All right. Thank you so much, every one of you who has been with us from the very first day we started this masterclass. So this was our very first masterclass, and it's so amazing that it has received an overwhelming response because it is our very, very, very first time. So starting from this month going forward, we'll be having such kind of programs every month. So every month we'll be coming to you with another exciting program. So just be on the lookout, and please share whenever we advertise. Be ready to also share with your contacts so that we can bring in as many as we can into these programs. And very soon we'll start our video podcast where we can be discussing about topics, and topics that can really, really help us make progress in our lives. Okay, so it has been so exciting, and thank you so much for attending from day one up to today. May God richly bless you, and we look forward to seeing you becoming successful in 2024. So take 2024 seriously. All right, you owe nobody anything, and no one owes you anything. You owe yourself the success that you want to see in your life. So take it personally and run and become the extraordinary person that you were created to be. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank